Just to remind colleagues, with your permission.
Honourable members, listen to Honourable Samuju.
Just to remind colleagues, with your permission, Madam Speaker. When we handled the tax bills, this one remained. And our issue, especially from this side, to which now I speak for, we reject increment of taxes, 100 on petroleum and 100 on diesel. Because if I do a recap, we are correcting 1,450.
That is under clause what?
That's why I was seeking your permission. We will come to that, Madam Speaker. It's not ordinary, but I thought you were allowed.
What I was saying, we are now in which clause?
We hadn't started. That's why I'm taking advantage, with your permission, to remind at least my side. So the one that is here to vote, they don't need to be reminded.
Honourable, why don't we move clause by clause? When we reach that clause, you raise that issue. Clause 1.
Clause 1.
I put a question that clause 2 stands part of the bill. Those in favour say, and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 3.
Chair.
Honourable Chair, we are amending Clause 3, amendment of Schedule 2 to the Principal Act. Clause 3 is amended. A, in paragraph A, item 1. In item D, by substituting 12% with 10%. And 2, in item E, by substituting 12% with 10%. And B, in paragraph C, Right Honourable Chair, by deleting item A. 2, item B, by substituting shillings 5,000 with 2,500. And in item 3, in item C2, by substituting 100% with 80%, and shillings 5,000 with 1,700. C, in paragraph E, item 1, in item B, by substituting 12 with 10%. 2, in item D, by substituting 12% with 10%. D, in paragraph F, in item 6, by substituting shillings 75 with 50. E, in paragraph H, by deleting item E. Honourable Chair and colleagues, justification is to reduce the cost of opaque beer and any other alcoholic beverage in order to increase the tax base and also to make motor more affordable. And illuminating kerosene should not be exorbitantly taxed since it's being used to the low-income earners. I beg to submit, Honourable Chair.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, my proposal is on G, which is cement, adhesives, grout, and white cement. My proposal is not to impose this tax and have this G deleted. I also propose that J, which is on withdraw payment services to do with digital withdrawal of money, I propose that J be deleted. I also propose, Madam Speaker, that we delete H, all of it. No 100 shilling on petroleum, 100 on diesel, and then the whole of kerosene should go away. Right, Speaker, those are my proposals, and I invite Parliament to...
Martin?
To reduce on taxes. Right, Honourable Speaker.
To reduce or increase on taxes. You're saying that you don't have a road to Buzaya. The hospitals are not there. So you want a Kibwa, you need where, but what this is intended to do is to raise money to finance all those things that we are doing. So what Honorable Semuju is saying, that much as we accept some, let's not accept others. Hear from this side. Honorable Semuju has presented, and that is that.
Thank you, Chair.
There is a procedural matter.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My concern is...
One thing I want you to know, this is an engine of revenue collection to fund whatever you want as a country. So when you're bringing in a deletion, bring an alternative and say, if we're deleting here, let's replace this by increasing the tax base. Yes.
Thank you very much, Chair. One item, which is deleting item F, which concerns mineral water, because this will lead to an increment on the price of mineral water, majorly those who sell water in bulk, the 20 liters, the 20-liter canisters. So I'm proposing...
Pardon?
Chair, on top of what Honorable Semuju suggested, I do suggest we delete part F on mineral water, because it's going to make the cost of mineral water, those who sell usually the 20-liter, the bulk water, is going to become quite expensive. That is the target of this amendment. And then on the proposals of fuel, because Chair, the committee agreed, and we were together with this, we were with the committee on this, to reject the increment on kerosene. I think that is
That's
okay.
deleted.
Yes. On our proposal to remove the 100 shillings on motor spirit, and that is gas and diesel, I do propose an amendment in section 8C of the Principal Act to increase item 8F of the Principal Act to increase jet A and aviation fuel by 100 shillings instead of increasing on our petrol. But Madam Speaker, if you allow me to answer directly my colleague. First of all, we have appropriation that is coming next. In the budget, there are many things that we are proposing when we reach that stage to remove from the budget. A lot of wastage. This particular proposal is going to give you just 200 billion shilling. You can reduce that budget by 6 trillion. Useless things like special drinks and eat. So there are many things in the budget that we will propose to remove. Actually, we are going to make a lot of more money available. So you don't need this 200 billion shilling.
Search, you will come.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, last financial year, when we tried to make proposals for increment of taxes on fuel, they were thwarted by the Ministry of Finance. And this was their reason. They said that when you increase the price of fuel, it will lead to inflation. And I would like to hold the Honourable Musasizi accountable on this matter, last financial year. And the reason we were mooting then was that if we increased this levy on fuel, it would be translated, if we're ring-fenced, on improvement on the budget of infrastructure directly. And I was imploring this House that what we had interacted with the voters or with the people was that they were not worried about necessarily increment on the levy of fuel. The issue is how we use it after. If it is not translated into their own infrastructure, then they are disinterested as one of the priorities. So Ugandans are not saying no to taxes. They are only saying to where is our money that we contribute in form of taxes. So that's why I was asking the Honorable Minister of Finance, even if you are to use the numbers to take this matter that 100 shillings and raise, let's say, 300 billion, is it going to be put directly on their infrastructure, or it's going to be put to wishful expenditure of donations, this and this, this and this? That is the issue Ugandans are talking about. Because whether we want it or not, Right Honourable Speaker, last financial year, around this time, the cost of a litre of fuel, let's say petrol, was at about 4,300 something. Today it's at about 5,000 something. So whether we put in the factorization of exchange rate, etc., the price of fuel has increased. Now the promise of government was that when we come in to become the sole buyers on behalf of Ugandans and sole importer on behalf of Ugandans, and we do away with the issue of middlemen, the price will come down. We came here and legislated towards that. Now, as we await for the price of fuel to come down, we are slapping voters with a tax. So where is the genuineness of the issue? Either we do not believe that the price of fuel will come down as a result of government becoming the sole importer on behalf of Ugandans. So if we all believe that the price of fuel will come down as a result of government being the sole importer of fuel on behalf of Ugandans, then there is no reason for slapping this price on fuel, because we shall save and use that other money for something else. But if we are genuine to Ugandans that, listen, this will happen, can we give Ugandans a commitment that all the money that we want to increase on the fuel levy will be directed to a fund that shall not be subject to these other hands, And you know what I'm talking about? That we come here and pick the money from the fuel levy and put it directly to other priorities. Right Honourable Speaker, I understand what, because, Right Honourable Speaker, I want to implore this House. The Minister of Works, both the senior minister and the junior minister, we are here saying, please give us more funds to do your roads. And we categorically ask from where. Now this is what they are presenting. But there is no proof that this money that we are going to add on the tax of fuel will be directly channeled to fund construction of roads. Day after day will be back here borrowing. So Ugandans are not saying we are not willing to pay, but they are only saying we cannot pay this money and enjoy potholes as others are using it for lavish activities.
Thank you. Search.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
After search, then you can.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker.
Honourable members, it is an agreed fact, the issue of kerosene, since it affects a local person down there, and since we removed the REA, and REA has failed, electricity has failed to reach to the villages, we are removing kerosene. It affects the local person who cannot afford to fuel a car, who cannot afford to do anything. Yes.
Right Honourable Speaker, I want to start from a slightly different perspective. The impression being created as I was seated is that there is the proposal to delete the tax and there is the proposal to impose the tax. But what I want to put across is that already there is a tax. There is a tax, members. This is not to say that there is no tax. Because, for instance,
Searching. There is a tax. What they are what they want to do is to make an increment.
That's where I'm coming. You see, Right Honourable Speaker, you have to carry members with you, and I'm building my case to that effect. As we stand now, there is a tax of 1,450 on petrol and 1,130 on diesel, meaning that already there is tax. So what the proposal here is aiming at is to add on the tax, so that now petrol we can have 1,550. And for diesel, it can rise to 1,230. And to me, actually 1,450. To me, honorable members, we have to go by the canons of taxation. And that's why I differ a bit. People are not saying they don't want to pay the tax, yes, but tax has to have a limit. And the more tax you impose, it has a negative effect. Because this addition you are making and you are imposing has...
Actually, what SECH is saying, the addition, when you look at kerosene and petrol and diesel, the increase is 100. But now when you look at the issue of kerosene, where there are so many people using kerosene down there in the villages, you're increasing it by 300 shillings. What mathematics was that? What was the basis of that increment?
Honourable Speaker, and I'm challenging the economists of this country. The tax you impose, you may have two principles: efficiency and effectiveness. The tax you impose must be effective and must be efficient. But what we have now, the burden shall be borne by the common person down on the ground. If you are talking about farmers, if you are talking about people from Chikubo, once you hike the price of fuel, it means the transport costs will correspondingly increase. It will mean that the bunch of banana the price will correspondingly increase. And that is not for the person who is a farmer down, but to the middlemen, because they want to cushion the cost of fuel. So to that extent, I'm telling you, the more you increase the tax, is the less demand you'll be creating. Because ultimately, this is having a multiplier effect across the economy. From the transport, from the produce, from the commercial entities in this country. Even those selling cattle, once a cost of each cow to be brought to the roofra here, and you touch on fuel, the transporters will extend the same to the person down there. Because vehicles have to move at the end of the day. We don't have the train transport. It means at this stage, Right Honourable Speaker, and I would implore our government, why don't we maintain the price as it is? It is already heavy. Businesses are closing. And the moment you touch on the operational cost, because fuel is in the operations, goods are not consumed at the place of production. They are transported. Inputs are transported.
Please conclude.
Inputs are transported. Even the final products are being transported. So, Right Honourable Speaker and members, I would urge government, and I would like to tell them that the tax, the way it is already too much. I know my people from Remiaga, some forego even coming to Kampala on very critical issues because they cannot afford transport to and fro. And now that we officially increase fuel, I'm telling you the taxes and buses are going to officially increase the transport fares and charges. And this is very negative on our communities. Let's remain with the tax the way it is. We can do something else, but not at this point in time when business.
and I'm very good, I'm a very patient person. Madam Chair, as the Honorable Sheikh said, it is not necessary that every now and then we should raise taxes so that we generate more. You can spur the economy and have more taxes. For example, let me give the demonstration of matoke. If I sell my matoke at 30,000 and I sell 10 bunches, I will get 300,000. It means I will have more disposable income to spend. I will buy sugar, I will buy soap, I will buy alcohol, and all these avoid the taxes. And before I go to that, because you are under fear, you are right. And Madam Chair, even if you are talking of the villager, even if he doesn't come to town, the sugar is going to drink is being transported. Therefore, he will pay the 100 shilling, which is being added or not, on fuel. I want to plead with the government, but why don't we make a trial? For the first time, we say we are not going to increase taxes on fuel. Yes. And see what will happen. I can tell you, the country will not collapse, and there will be more income to tax, because the transport costs will be lower, and the people will be having disposable income to be able to spend on goods which already have indirect taxes, like VAT.
Because that's a trickle-down effect.
Exactly.
There is information here, yes.
Maybe just the last time taxes were increased on fuel was in 2021. So it's not correct to say that every year taxes are increased on fuel. So the rates we are using are 2021, just for your information.
Madam Speaker,
Honorable members,
not every time.
Honorable members, Honorable members, the last time it was increased by 100 shillings, that was in the financial year 2021-2022.
I love you all for that, because my Attorney General, when he mentioned 2021, he was trying to mean that it was 2020/2021, and was changing the rule. So Attorney General, so I went to plead, Attorney General. I never said every year, I said every time, and every time can be even 2 years, whatever. Madam Chair, I want to make a proposal here, and I want also to agree with my brother Karim. Because J1 is used by Jet is used by, he never mentioned, I think, when he meant 8F, he was meaning these local ones, which go to Kisoro, go to Arua, because this one, if you don't also increase, it means for them, those who use planes will not pay taxes on fuel, yet they're also traveling. And that's what was his argument, which I wanted to make clear. But on the international flights, they are at nil. Because if we try to do international flights, we will be making it dangerous. So, Madam Chair, I want to make a proposal that...
I've seen my chair, Finance, looking at me. Right, Honorable Speaker, when you look at the Principal Act, they are different. The jet engine, the jet oils, the petroleum used by those foreign flights and the ones used locally are different. And the amendment I suggested was for those that are importing into the country to be used locally. When you look at the international ones like Emirates and all that, they're all exempted. They're actually supposed to be at nil. So my proposal is that we look at increasing the one that is used locally. We are seeing people using these local planes to go to prom parties. So I think we need to target that fuel that is imported into the country to be used locally, because the foreigners are exempted. So instead of us looking at putting that burden to our people who are using motor vehicles.
I wanted to make a proposal, because we are not looking back. 100 shillings is a lot of money. Supposing we put 10 shillings, Attorney General, because you want some increments, supposing we put 10 shillings, instead of going to 100, what was the formula of 100? You see, if you want some increment, supposing we look at 10 shillings to maximum 50 shillings. And this will be a win-win situation. The second one, Madam Chair, the withdrawal charges of 0.5 on money.
There's a
Madam, so, Madam Speaker, I have one of the reasons we have raised already.
Give us a solution. Can we people move?
Yeah, we're moving. That's why we have.
You'll sleep here.
So, Madam Speaker, Chair, I wanted to say, on this one, I wanted to ask the government to show you that we are happy to have you increase, but not go high. Let us say we add maybe between 10 to 50 shillings on this. Madam Speaker, I want also to make one proposal. On when you talk about this service of withdrawals, I met my brother Musasa was trying to convince me. But who are the main users of services? You members of parliament, you send money to your voters. You have sent 1 million. There will be a charge of 5%, 0.5. And what will happen? The money, instead of getting 1 million plus other charges, to your voters, to go and pay burials, to go and for weddings and whatever, it will be charging you, instead of 1 million, it will end up to be 900,000. It is you to pay. Also, when you send to your mother or your grandmother, that's what will be withdrawing. Madam Chair, in professional services, let me give an example of a valuer. The valuer, when it comes to charge, they charge 0.025% of the value. But this one of 0.5% is on a very high side. Already you are paying the charge for transfer, which is also subject to tax withholding excise duty, you are aware, and all that. I would also make a proposal that instead of 0.05%, Madam Speaker, instead of 0.5%, I want us to make a proposal that we make it 0.025% as the valuers do it. Madam Chair,
that is on which one? On mobile money?
On mobile money. The reason is simply...
mobile money is not in the question.
No, not by mobile money. The 0.05% charge.
There is 0.5% charge on the value of the transaction.
Yes.
That is not in the question.
No, we have a regulatory report.
Get information from your chair.
No, I'm just reminding him that the 0.5% on mobile money withdrawal is not an issue here, but rather we are talking about agency banking withdrawal services. Okay? Now, what we are trying to do is that we bring parity, because same tax rule, like you say, same service, same rule. You realize, honorable colleagues, that agency banking agents do the same service for Airtel and MTN Momo withdrawals. So this, to bring parity in the economy, we propose that the 0.5% that is applicable for the mobile money be applied on agency money bank withdrawal.
Thank you. Let him qualify what is being said.
I think, Right Honorable Speaker, Honorable colleagues, today there is a charge of 0.5% on withdrawal of money, cash, on mobile money. The purpose of this is to level the transactions between financial institutions and mobile money. Secondly, if you're transferring money electronically from one person to another, so for example, if Honorable Nandala sent money to the agent and asked the agent to put it on the mother's phone, that will not attract a charge. Just to clarify.
Thank you, Chair. What the Attorney General has said is right. What the Attorney General has said is right. Yes, there is a 0.5 charge on mobile money, which has been existing and it's not part of the amendment. So
withdraw?
Yes, on withdraw of the charge. Withdraw of cash, yes, I'm aware, and then there is 15% on the charge in the Principal Act. So I am well aware of that. the argument is these people who are doing agency banking, they have phones that they use for mobile money, and then they have machines that they use to withdraw from accounts, because those are transaction accounts from banks. It's as if I've gone to an ATM and withdrawn. So there is no 0.5 charge when I withdraw from my account using an ATM. But what you want to introduce is when you're withdrawing, this agency banking who is using, because they use machines owned by the banks. Yes, so you want to charge me if I'm withdrawing via an agency banking, and then when I withdraw via the ATM, I'm not incurring this cost. I think that is where the argument should be.
Agency banking agent is not the same as a teller in a banking hall. That's the only difference. And that's, yes.
Madam Chair, I want to tell you today that agent banking is an agent of the bank. And what happens is you will never draw money at the agent when you don't have money on your account. What happens is the agent, the moment I go there, I want to withdraw 1 million, he will first confirm, they have a mechanism to confirm that money is on my what? My account. If I don't have the 1 million, I will not be paid the what? The money. Let us not confuse mobile movement of money from my mobile to another one and the money from the bank account to me. So, Madam Chair, we must be careful.
The clarification I just want to get from you and from the proposers of the law. The agent has a principal, which is the bank. When I am withdrawing money directly from the principal, I do not pay tax. So why should I pay tax when I am withdrawing from the agent of the principal?
And you have asked a good question. The agent, mobile bank, you asked me and you, and I'm coming to you. The agent, I will give let us demonstrate. Amos, our chair of finance, is the agent of Centenary Bank. He has been authorized to receive money and pay money. I go there, I want to draw 1 million. Amos will only give me money if he has confirmed money is on my what? Account. And the moment Amos give me 1 million, it will charge my account immediately in the what? In the bank. Immediately it will charge. I pick my 1 million, I put in what? In the bank. If I went to the Centenary ATM, it will be the same. I'll just put in my ATM, I get my 1 million, and it will be, not only the charge I may have is the ATM what? Charge. And that's where we're saying, where the agent is involved on money related to the bank, there is no way. Okay.
Honorable members,
Thank you for allowing the information.
Honorable members, when you look at the payments, answer what Honorable Nwagaba was saying. Payment services of withdrawals of cash provided through payment system including withdrawal services provided by financial institutions or microfinance deposit institutions. That would be the answer to what Wilfred is saying. But now you're saying that does not include. That was, it was amended.
Yeah, it was amended during presentation, Right Honorable Speaker.
How would it look like?
Does include, not does not. But I just wanted to
Is it in the committee's amendment?
Yes.
What does it say? Read the amendment.
Affected to 0.5% of the value. No. You see, check. Yeah, it's a
wait. You first wait
service of withdrawals of cash provided through a payment system. A payment system means even at the counter is a payment system. Now, when you delete this, I go there to draw 10 million, I'll be subjected to 0.5% of the value. This is here. If you leave it like this, better. Yes, you leave it like.
Yes.
The matters dealing with the financial institutions, the banks, are in 14 of the Principal Act, not in the amendment. 14. Ledger fees, ATM, withdrawal fees, and periodic charges, and other transaction and non-transaction charges, excluding loan-related charges periodically charged by financial institutions, is 15% of the fees charged. It's already there. No, we are saying that for the members were saying, let's add the banks. And I'm saying no. The banks are already being charged under 14. We are now saying, listen to me. The banks are already being charged under 14. Mobile money is being charged under 13. But agent banks, agencies are currently not charged. So while
Chair,
Honorable Masaba.
on the fees, still they are charging 15% on mobile transactions, 15% on the fee that the bank charges, and the fee that the mobile money company, MTN, charges you. That is the percentage. Now, the amendment is introducing a 0.5, a fee on the amount that you withdraw. That you withdraw with cash from the agency banking. So unless, if the Attorney General is saying, we amend Section 14 as well to include, which they are refusing, obviously. So then let us leave the way it is, because now we are introducing another fee on people who are withdrawing from agency. Because if I'm operating an agency banker, a management banker, I will have my mobile phones that I use for mobile money transactions, and it is charged automatically.
Madam Chair, this is a legal clarification. Honorable Attorney General, I want us to refer, Madam Chair, Honorable Musasizi, and thank you, Madam Chair and honorable colleagues. Now, the matter creating confusion here is the two services. The justification running mobile money and another one running agency banking.
Now
let's go.
Agency banking is run by microfinance institutions and banks. Then Money Mobile is run by MTN and Airtel. So each of them has a principal.
That's where I want to go. That is where I want to go. And now the issue here is that one is regulated under the Financial Payment Services Act. And the other one, I'm building the point.
You should also remember that Airtel and MTN, they also split. There's a company that deals with mobile money transaction, and the one that deals with telecommunication. So it's still
MTN, whether they split or not. What made it to continue?
Okay, thank you. What was split is the license. One license is for the carrier, the operator of voice and data, and the other one is for the operation of financial services. Now, coming back to the... Just a second. Mobile money, who are agent bankers. Agent bankers, in principle, are only performing a duty for and on behalf of a financial institution called a bank. And the duty they are performing is that where you cannot reach, or at times you cannot work, then I step in for you, and I pick up these funds, I deposit them. On depositing them, I have a charge from the bank. But also on picking them, you want to slap another 0.5%. Now, let's look at what would be detrimental by introducing this tax. One, if I had 4 outposts, maybe I had one in Morolinga, where there is no brick and mortar bank. then I say, since the services are very expensive, let me retreat to the town. Now, I deny those ones in Morolinga financial inclusion. The issue is not how much we shall collect. The issue is how much shall we fail to do the banking. Right, Honorable Attorney General, what we ought to see that mobile agency bankers are only helping you to extend banking services where brick and mortar banks necessarily cannot reach. So by slapping this tax, it means you're reducing on their income directly. So it becomes detrimental. If it becomes detrimental to my income, therefore I reduce the number of posts in mobile agency banking that I use. At the end of the day, people will keep money in houses. They will not be captured in the digital financial inclusion services. And the answer is zero. That's why I wanted us to draw a distinction that MTN, as a mobile money receiver, does not do necessarily banking services. It only receives and helps you. What this one does is I receive where you can't reach, I relay, but I'm already charged for this deposit. When the customer deposits this money, the deposit charge is already taken. So if you include 0.5%, it will also be translated to the customer again.
Honorable members, I want to understand this from the chair. In my thinking, we are trying to increase the tax base. And increasing the tax base, we are bringing the cheaper cash.
Making the issue quite clear, because people have resorted from mobile money to apps like cheaper cash.
Yes.
But the challenge, the way they had brought it, it was capturing those who are withdrawing through agency banking, not the app. Yes.
Repeat.
Yeah, that is
Repeat
right.
your statement. Repeat your statement. It is not financial institutions.
Madam Chair, information. Madam Chair.
Madam Chair, like you requested, let me repeat.
You want to know?
The committee observed that the proposed amendment is intended to provide for equal tax treatment to that of mobile money for payment services that offer a similar service to mobile money. These payment services include cheaper cash, wave transfer, among others. At present, withdrawal from these services are not subjected to the same excise duty as that levied on mobile money.
Just a second. Mr. Chair, I want you to tell me, if money is sent to you through wave, how do you withdraw it? Because you see, the aggregator of your funds that are sent electronically is through mobile money. Therefore, at the end of the day, the mobile money charge is transferred to you. Because there is no single outpost that tells you that you can... Just a second. The moment you receive money through send wave, for example, it's from abroad, then it steps into your money. You can only convert that wallet into cash by presenting it to a mobile money agent.
Information. Madam Chair.
Madam Chair, what the government needs to help Parliament with, we've spent...
You know, just a minute. There is a way we've perceived this. We need to change our mind to accept what is reality. We have perceived, we are insisting, we are going to be charged, an agent banker is going to be charged. That is not correct. If there is an agent banker of Centenary, of Stanbic, of where, that is not correct. They are not going to charge it. We are charging the system. You get it, eh?
Yes. But, Madam Chair, the point I wanted to make, and I guess it will help. If you look at the certificate of financial implication for this bill, the total amount to be realized is 205 billion. And I think largely the money is on petroleum and diesel. We've spent half a day discussing maybe something that we will yield not even 1 billion shilling. Yeah. So my proposal is to tell Parliament to know exactly what each measure will yield. So the one that is not going to yield too much, we can forego it.
Right, Honourable Speaker. The issue I want to present to members as I take back the floor.
Honourable members, under 13A, payment services. Honourable Minister, I want us to look at this and say payment service of withdrawals of withdrawals of cash provided through payment system does not include withdrawal of financial services, financial institutions or microfinance deposit-taking institutions and the agents and their agents. We add and their agents. Yes.
I would like to improve this proposal, to put this on floor also for discussion. Payment services of cash withdrawals provided through a payment system and includes all withdrawal services provided by financial institutions or a microfinance deposit-taking institution other than withdrawals at the counter inside a banking hall.
Right, Honourable Speaker, you can see the level of confusion of the minister. Okay,
Chair, can we have your attention?
Okay, the level of inaccuracy.
Chair.
The level of inaccuracy. Right, Honourable Speaker.
Chair, I think we
Thank
must
you.
appeal.
There's a procedural matter.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, I'm praying that you guide this House when we are processing this bill. It's going to be implemented by the Minister himself with his technical people. You can see the interpretation that he has. It is totally different from the intention of the legislature. At this particular stage, he is confusing us. Why don't you guide the House? Or I am praying that you guide the House. You guide the House, we actually delete this entire clause as it is, because we are going to cause trouble to Ugandans when we
Honourable members.
When we allow the minister to move from this House with any form of amendment.
Honourable member, amendment. First listen to my amendment.
Thank you very much.
First listen to my amendment.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. This thing would be suicide. It would mean we all stop using the ATMs and line up on the bank, in lines in the banks to avoid
This bring the amendment.
So my amendment, my proposal would be, or I propose that we amend as follows. Payment of services of withdraw cash provided through payment systems, but does not include withdraw services provided by financial institutions, microfinance deposit-taking institutions, and agents of financial institutions. That is agency banking. We will have excluded them.
Those in favor say on the contrary, the ayes have it.
Madam Chair, I have something to state. At least listen to me. At least listen to me. Listen to me. Yes, listen at least. Don't deny me the right to tell you something. You might object it. But thank you. The Honourable from Hoima is insisting that no, but I have no problem with him. Since the Right Honourable Speaker you've allowed, when we talk
There's a
about
procedure.
financial payment
Madam,
services,
thank you very much,
Madam Chair.
I'll take the procedure.
Thank you very much, Chair.
Which procedure?
You've
Chair.
allowed me to speak.
Chair, thank you.
Talk about payment services. I heard clearly why the Honourable Minister wisely said that he was targeting issues like of startups like cheaper cash and SendWave. Now, you must understand why people, mainly in the diaspora, use these applications to remit funds home. And you must understand that one of the biggest income earners, revenue earners to this country, that has grown our economy, is the remittances. Yes, no, I'm talking about the remittances that he talked about. Now, Right Honourable, you'll come, you have a substantive part to debate here. Right Honourable Speaker, the issue we are talking about, when you target SendWave,
Honourable Senator,
when you target SendWave,
I just want the record to be clean.
the feedback from also the public that uses this later, so that you actually know what you've exactly passed. So if you target things like SendWave, these applications are used by people normally outside this country to send funds back home. And the rationale was that platforms like Western Union, etc., were extremely expensive. Now, the young people came up with these innovations to try and lower the cost of remitting funds home. Now, what happens if you slap 0.5% of the value of the transaction? That means if I send, this here is 0.5% of the value of the transaction. It means when I send 1 million shillings home, how much is deducted? 0.5%. And you know what it means if I've sent this money to construct my house? If I've sent money that I was remitting on a salary loan, and I'm a kadama somewhere or a house assistant working somewhere.
Let's finish.
Working somewhere. I'm trying to show you the impact of what is being introduced, Right Honourable Speaker, and respectfully. And what I'm saying in this way is that what you're going to bring about is the black market that it will introduce. And what will happen is put my money in Dubai here and I receive it from Chikubo somewhere. And it will create dangers and a bypass. Let me finish my point. You raised your point. So what I'm trying to say, that deleting in order not to deter these services, is that when you put in your numbers, an example, Right Honourable Speaker, if you're sending through SendWave, you issue the number of the customer you're sending. And the aggregate on behalf of SendWave would be, let's say, Airtel or MTN. Therefore, the charge is already there that are instituted by Airtel as a mobile money aggregator are carried, and now this will be a secondary charge of 0.5%.
Procedure.
Information. I want to give my colleague information. I have been using, Chair,
Honourable members, proposed by Honourable Karim and Honourable Chairperson. Those in favour say to the contrary. 13. It is clause 3. Clause 3 be amended as proposed by Honourable Karim and Honourable Chair. Those in favour say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 3 as amended.
I put a question that clause 3 as amended stands part of the bill. Those in favour say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Title.
I put a question that the title stands part of the bill. Those in favour say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Motion for resumption of the House.
Madam Chair, I beg to move that the entitled the Excise Duty Amendment Bill 2024 and passed it with amendments.
Motion for adoption of the report of the Committee of the Whole House.
Honourable Minister.
That the report from the Committee of the Whole House be adopted.
I put a
Bill's third reading. the Excise Duty Amendment Bill 2024.
Clerk,
to deal with the proposals, actual amendments that I had proposed, including deleting the proposal to impose an additional tax on petroleum and diesel, on building materials and mineral water. So I move.
seconded. I'm looking at those who are seconding. Seconded by Saro Pendi, by okay, speak to just give you specific explanation and then alternatives to
Yes,
to raise money.
just to reassert what I have already said, and many members have said. We are already charging a tax 1,450 on petroleum, on petrol. Charging per liter, charging 1,300 on diesel. If we impose another tax, we are going to cause a lot of damage to the economy itself, because you have transportation of almost of everything that you are using. But also, most important, Madam Speaker, we have a budget that has officially been referred to us that is being proposed. These particular taxes, you are looking to raise about 150 billion. But in the budget that we are handling, you have 162 billion for donation. Last week we were donating money to Magora. Really, you need to be sympathetic to taxpayers. But for you keep imposing charges one after another. So the proposal is that we do away with the tax on petrol and diesel. But also, as I mentioned when I presented the report, this country has a different...
I am also going to bring a proposal on the removal of some expenditure.
Madam Speaker, in the report that I presented here, this country has a deficit of 2.5 million houses. We should be reducing taxes on building material. We cannot be imposing further taxes. So and then drinking water. That you in the government, you want to impose a further tax on drinking water. So the proposal, Madam Speaker, is that we recommit and have these matters deleted.
I am putting a question. Look at it. Searching. Honorable members, I want you people, I'm putting a question, whether we should recommit and delete those taxes, and then, if you're in support of deleting, you say aye. Of recommittal. If you are not in support of recommittal and move as it is, by the way, I'm on the third reading. You say nay. Sarah, I am putting my questions. I am also gender. The person speaking is gender.
Bill third reading, the Excise Duty Amendment Bill 2024.
Honorable Minister, what are you signing for?
Madam Speaker, I beg to move that the that the Excise Duty Amendment Bill 2024 be read for the first time and be passed.
I put a question that the Exercise Duty Amendment Bill 2024 be read a third time and do pass. Those in favor say, and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
A bill for an act titled the Excise Duty Amendment Act 2024.
The title is